Another major story that came out today was that OpenAI was signing a $38 billion deal with Amazon. Very interesting to see that OpenAI is going to be partnering up with the Microsoft competitor in Amazon. This sent Amazon up 5% today, even after Amazon was up from their earnings. They had to get this okayed by Microsoft, we would imagine, before they would sign such a large deal with a competitor, especially when they're such a part of Microsoft, it seems like already, you would imagine, right? Do you think it seemed like that relationship was already a little topsy-turvy? Do you think this is going to make it go even farther south, or you think Microsoft was probably on board with this?
Yeah, I don't think Microsoft. I think OpenAI used Microsoft, and Microsoft, they did snag themselves some interesting, like all the details of that deal. You get some interesting ones that come out here and there. But I think Microsoft did, get themselves a pound of flesh. I'm interested in how the restructuring though might have affected that deal, because I do know one of the interesting parts about the deal at one point was that if OpenAI did not reach certain revenue hurdles, that Microsoft would have access to their best technology without a delay. I don't know if they hit those hurdles or not, but yeah, I think that it's a pretty interesting time in terms of that relationship. And it certainly does not say anything good about the relationship with OpenAI and Microsoft, that OpenAI is doing business with Amazon. It certainly seems like that's a shot at them. But OpenAI also does business with Google, and it's quite possible OpenAI is just being smart about it and could justify it that way and just say, like, look, we're trying to get good pricing. We're doing business with everybody to ensure that we do get the best pricing. But yeah, I don't think that I don't think the relationship with Microsoft is good, and I don't think we're ever going to get any real answers about that or the profitability. I mean, what everybody would love to know is how much money Microsoft has sunk in at this point, and how and if and when they're going to get that back, and what the agreement is. But we're never going to find that out. I mean, we might find it out when they go public, but it's possible as part of the move for OpenAI to become a for-profit company, some of that deal is going to be hidden in the nonprofit. I don't think it's likely that we ever really find out what's in that deal, because I don't think it's going to look good for Microsoft, and I think they're probably in control of what gets out.
Well, the headline of what you said of, like, you think OpenAI used Microsoft, that's like 4D chess from Sam Altman then. I mean, being able to scale and use such an amazing company in Microsoft to begin with. But I want to also mention on this stream, because I think for people who are watching, they'd be interested in seeing this clip. Satya Nadella, Sam Altman, and Brad Gerstner, who we've brought up on the stream before, he's like a VC. We're all chatting on a podcast, and the Brad Gerstner guy asked Sam Altman, like, you're doing $17 billion in revenue. You've made like hundreds of billions of dollars of deals in AI. Like, how do you anticipate being able to pay for this stuff? And Sam Altman's reaction was really wild. He got like immediately pretty rude and very, like, I would say upset, the fact that he's even questioning like the legitimacy or just like wanting to understand about how it's all going to work out in the end. Would that make you nervous about some of these deals? I know you haven't seen the clip, but it's very clear that Sam Altman was like very upset that question was asked. So what does that tell you about the position that OpenAI has to be able to pay some of this stuff they've promised?
I don't think anyone has any intent of creating an ROI on this. I think what we're going to see is more money, more expansion, chasing the eventual money. But in terms of funny interviews, I encourage people to watch the interview with Tucker Carlson, where Sam Altman's asked if he like
I saw that.
participated in harming the whistleblower, and it's a profoundly weird interview. I really encourage people to watch it. It's great. It's great television. But yeah, like Sam Altman's a smart guy, and the interesting question about this stuff is he actually being emotional and losing control, or is this is it part of some kind of plan? Maybe he just doesn't really want to answer it, and instead of talking about the answer, people are talking about the reaction, and maybe it's a way to just shift the conversation. Could be an interesting psychological tactic. I mean, we're still going to talk about the answer, but there's not really much to it other than to be able to say, I don't think he knows. I don't think he knows at all. And I think that makes the most sense. If he gave an answer with some meat, then we could analyze it and then we could come back to him later. But maybe in a few years we're going to be like, well, we asked if you're going to get a return on investment, and he says, yeah, I didn't tell you anything. I got pissed, but I didn't tell you anything. Maybe that's a way to not get caught in a lie later.
The way he reacted, it makes me feel like the only way this whole situation will work out is if either OpenAI grows like crazy, like their revenues just go insane, or they have to keep making deals to pay their past deals, which is just like kind of like a Ponzi, or it just seems like a scam almost. If that's the way they're planning to do this, it's kind of like once one domino falls, well, the whole thing will go.
Well, it is a classic Ponzi. I mean, let's not call them deals, right? They're like they're raising money, right? And they have to keep raising money to, I guess, fulfill these compute contracts, and they're not really getting much revenue. And that's like a classic Ponzi scheme. That's exactly what a Ponzi scheme is, right? You need to raise money to pay your bills. Your revenue isn't paying your bills, and you can raise like unlimited funds. So it is a very classic Ponzi scheme, and they're already talking about going public for $1 trillion, which really drives at an interesting question, which is like, are businesses closer to Ponzi schemes these days? Are the like look at Tesla. Like, I'm sorry, like it's trading on right now. And by the way, I'm not saying that it shouldn't trade on this right now, but it's trading on the fact that it's going to have robots and self-driving cars, right? It's actually the low. It went from one of the highest sales growth companies, like it was Nvidia, Tesla, and the rest. Now it is the lowest sales growth company in the Mag 7. And it's trading at this huge earnings multiple relative to everybody else. So it is a fair question to say, like, is that also not a version of a Ponzi scheme, right? It's raising a bunch of money. It's trading on a lot of hype, right? We don't know. We don't know how much revenue it's going to get for that or when it's coming. We just know that, Elon Musk says it's going to be massive and they're going to control the market, everything like that. But yeah, I mean, I don't think Tesla's a Ponzi scheme, but is it a Ponzi scheme relative to what businesses of its size used to be in terms of the multiples that they trade at, how mature their businesses were, relative to how they were perceived? Yeah, like we're going closer to that. We're moving towards businesses looking more like what a Ponzi scheme was than actual businesses.
Well, I think it's a very interesting discussion. I'm happy we brought it up because everything is so bullish right now, and the tech world and AI is just on such a high. It feels good to like bring up some of the risks and possibly what's going on underneath the surface right now.